Amazing and, one might say, miraculous events regularly occur on our planet, but not everyone is lucky enough to witness them with their own eyes. Fortunately, many people now have cameras capable of capturing the impossible, allowing them to share these records with the whole world. This collection features some of the most amazing natural phenomena humanity has encountered in recent years. Enjoy your viewing. Just look at how many people want to show off their skills in building snowmen. The judges will have a wide selection of contestants to choose from. These people crossed the ocean solely to test their skills and bravery by deciding to raft down a waterfall among perpetual ice. The spectacle of crystal clear water in pristine snows is awe-inspiring, but whether it is worth risking one's life by diving into the ocean from a 20-meter height is a good question. These clouds bear an incredible resemblance to an approaching tsunami. At the same time, they also signal complex weather conditions, as if telling people to go seek shelter from the bad weather. Although the appearance of a double rainbow is not a frequent occurrence, it always looks simply stunning, especially against such a beautiful tide. While the clouds created by the volcano are full of ash and dirt, nonetheless, against the backdrop of a clear sky, they create views of astonishing beauty, as if crafted by the hand of a fantasy artist. If you think why this person is filming a dry leaf on the road, just wait a few seconds and you'll see a real miracle. In fact, it is a protective mechanism of a stunningly beautiful butterfly, predominantly found in India. Nature has endowed it with such a unique coloration so that the insect can successfully hide from predators and live as long as possible. This is how honey is harvested from wild bees. Initially, the hive is smoked, and then they climb the tree and force the bees to helplessly watch the theft of their honeycombs. Although this method does not harm the insects, it still leaves them extremely displeased with such marauding. The lengths to which hunger can drive these goats are astonishing. The animals climb spiky trees in search of food and completely devour all the leaves. Although it looks unusual, it's better for the girl not to stand under such a tree to avoid unwanted accidents. Throwing a banana into hot lava is certainly an interesting experiment, but whether this action has any point, the author does not reveal. The storm brewing in the ocean brought destructive waves to the shore. Just look at how tiny the houses appear against their backdrop. It's definitely not a good idea to swim in such weather. Even among octopuses, there are particularly charming creatures that could only dream of resembling the Kraken from legends in their worst nightmares. Just look at how cute this tiny octopus is, with fins on its head resembling ears and huge eyes. It could even be mistaken for a lost child's toy if it weren't alive. Typically, rays live closer to the seafloor and have a coloration that allows them to blend well with the sand. However, this youngster stands out among its peers.
No, it's a white manta. It's super rare.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
The state of Utah in America is famous worldwide for its canyons and sand dunes, and this fame is more than deserved. Just look at how mesmerizing the landscapes can be if you climb to the very top of the canyon. Climbers who set up their tent camp on the slopes of Everest were incredibly lucky to avoid an avalanche that passed just a few meters from their site. Most likely, these people were mentally prepared to perish under the snow masses, but luck was on their side. Did you know that the famous Pokemon character Pikachu has a real-life counterpart that lives on the ocean floor? Yes, it's a mollusk that, due to its resemblance to the iconic character, was whimsically named after it, because why not? The strong flocking instinct of birds allows them to perform a real show in the skies, while not fearing collisions with each other. But in reality, during this time, birds are simply dining on insects. Many tourists climb this mountain just for such shots of the sun rising from a sea of clouds. It's hard not to understand them, as the spectacle is simply delightful. Just look at how organized wild birds cross the road. Some people could learn a thing or two from them. The flooding in Colombia caused some problems in the city, one of which was the flooding of the sewer system and the appearance of such an unauthorized fountain in the middle of the road. Millions of years ago, our planet was abundant with volcanoes, each erupting with incredible force. Today, such events are more often considered natural disasters with which humanity cannot cope. Nevertheless, this primal force of nature truly impresses with its furious power and mesmerizing beauty. The mother koala tightly hugs her baby to prevent him from accidentally falling from the tree during sleep. A wonderfully touching example of maternal love from the world of wild nature. The Sahara is the second largest desert on our planet, following the Antarctic Desert. It covers almost 30% of the African continent and partially includes more than 10 countries. The desert has an incredibly hot climate, regular sandstorms, and very rare precipitation. Nevertheless, this vast area is considered one of the natural wonders of the planet. Imagine the surprise of the operator of these frames when he saw a palm branch suspended in the air. This phenomenon occurs, albeit infrequently, but there is nothing surprising in it. The dry branch was light enough that the lifting force from the collision of two different air currents could lift it into the air, preventing gravity from doing its job. Usually, such phenomena are not visible to the naked eye unless branches or leaves caught in the wind trap freeze in the air.
It's not attached to wires or anything like that.
Off the coasts of Malaysia live many different creatures that are found nowhere else. For example, these little ones who look absolutely charming. This phenomenon is known as the maelstrom, and it regularly appears off the coast of Norway. Due to the peculiarities of the seabed, whirlpools, typical for enclosed spaces, form right in the open sea, threatening to drag fishing boats and ships into their currents. This phenomenon is also featured in the works of Edgar Allan Poe, hence it has been occurring for centuries. Enjoying a leisurely journey in a kayak along a frozen river, the man ended up in an area filled with brittle candle ice. This phenomenon only occurs under special conditions when the structure of the frozen water is disrupted by air or another substance getting inside, and the ice formed in this way begins to melt. It's best to stay away from such a phenomenon and certainly not step on the ice, as it is not only brittle but incredibly sharp. In hot weather, if you're really lucky, you can see a real parade of huge balloons in the sky. But no, these aren't balloons, but a rare type of clouds classified as mammatus. They appear as a result of the formation of rain clouds under low humidity and strong wind. Although they look quite frightening, the only thing they really threaten is a heavy downpour. It's highly doubtful that the owner of this small garden was pleased to find a dust whirlwind entertaining itself on his plots. Although the operator was somewhat shocked by such natural marauding, it didn't stop him from getting out his camera and capturing the havoc wreaking on his land. Thanks to this video, you can now confidently claim to have witnessed the destruction of an iceberg. Watching this spectacle, one inevitably thinks that nothing in this world lasts forever, not even the millennia-old ice that has surrounded our planet. When two opposing currents meet over a relief bottom, a whirlpool can form, which can easily pull a careless swimmer into the depths. Such phenomena are commonly found in narrow streams and creeks, but can sometimes occur even in the ocean. Over time, they disappear on their own, but while the whirlpool is active, it's best not to approach it. Never, under any circumstances, should you take shelter from a storm and rain under trees, especially if they stand far apart from each other. The thing is, tall plantations can be called natural lightning rods, and they always attract lightning strikes. Countless forest fires have started this way, as when struck, trees can either be completely shattered into splinters or catch fire from within. Both of these states can provoke a fire, and in a hot and dry region, guarantee a real natural disaster. Despite the obvious threat from the approaching hurricane, this operator simply couldn't pass by without capturing the unusual shape of the vortex on camera. Indeed, this tornado stands out significantly against others. Phenomena such as the northern or southern lights can be regularly encountered near the poles. This phenomenon occurs when the planet's magnetic field collides with solar wind. From afar, the aurora resembles a curtain flickering in various colors, but up close, when standing directly beneath it, it looks more like the fluttering of weightless material stretched across the heavens. This type of squid lives at quite impressive depths, and encountering them during an underwater expedition can be considered real luck. They reside in the Pacific Ocean and look simultaneously cute and frightening because of their bulging eyes. Residents of a small town in America were sure that at worst it would just rain, but this time they were mistaken. A dashcam captured the moment when a tornado funnel touched the ground. In just a few seconds of its existence, the atmospheric disaster managed to destroy a couple of dozen homes. Miraculously, no one was injured. Children remain children in any species of living beings. They are playful and curious, and just look at how adorably these two little turtles are entertaining themselves. Just a charming sight. One can endlessly watch the flights of starlings when they perform a real feathered show in the air. Indeed, the coordination of flight in such large flocks involuntarily inspires admiration, as the birds never collide with each other. Moreover, the formations they create can deter predators, increasing the survival of the entire flock. These clouds look like a fluffy blanket sheltering the city from bad weather, but the appearance of such clouds can be a signal for serious atmospheric precipitation, which in the best case will result in rain. Have you ever encountered such jumping sewer covers? We hope not, as this phenomenon can only occur when the pressure of underground waters reaches a critical point and can threaten the emergence of an extraordinary fountain in the middle of the street. These skiers were unlucky to get stuck on a cable car at the moment when a real blizzard broke out in the mountains. They will have to enjoy the fury of nature in the cold for a long time, as running the lift in such weather is even more dangerous than just leaving people in the cold. People relaxing on the coast of Florida nearly became victims of a disaster coming from the ocean one fine day. A huge whirlwind suddenly began to approach the peaceful city beach, but that was not the worst part. The problem was that the tornado unexpectedly split in two and continued towards the shore in this state. Knowing the massive destruction a single whirlwind can cause, a double tornado is far more dangerous. Scientists still cannot fully explain the reasons for a tornado splitting in two, as this happens very rarely and under completely different circumstances. If you think this is an illusion or montage, you are deeply mistaken. This neon phenomenon occurs in waters where bioluminescent plankton is abundant. These microorganisms pose no threat to human life or the environment, and during the daytime their existence can only be guessed. However, at night, the properties of their bodies make the ocean water glow as if enveloping all objects entering the water in radiance. It doesn't matter what these things or creatures are, the glow is guaranteed to everything. At first glance, it might seem that a huge alien eye is watching over this city, but the reality is much more mundane. It is merely a ring of smoke emitted by a volcano, which, as it rose to a greater height, took on such an unusual form. Alas, other civilizations are still waiting their turn. During a drought, freshwater bodies in Hawaii turned this bright pink color. Although the phenomenon looks incredibly beautiful, it is actually quite dangerous as the water contains an alarmingly high level of bacteria that feed on salt. Using such water for cooking or drinking is strictly prohibited, at least until it returns to its normal color, ridding itself of the bacteria. What a colossal difference between the area where there is no rain and where a downpour is happening. It feels as if this territory has somehow managed to anger the heavens, since they are so fiercely upset with it. Think it's the neighborhood kids playing with snowballs? Not at all. These are huge hailstones falling from the sky, which can seriously injure a person or domestic livestock if caught under such atmospheric precipitation without protection. As you can see, the hail easily broke several windows in the house, and if the owner's horses had not been in their stables, they too could have been injured. Many creatures inhabit the ocean floor about which most people know nothing. One such creature is the tiny mollusk commonly known as the leaf sheep. They are at best an inch in size, often even smaller. They mainly feed on plankton, but their main feature is neither their name, size, nor diet. These creatures have the ability to photosynthesize like ordinary plants on land and can emit a faint glow from their bodies. Exactly how and why these creatures came to be underwater remains a mystery. Driving along a familiar mountain road, the driver of this car certainly did not expect a sudden landslide to come crashing down right under his wheels. However, thanks to his years of driving experience, the man did not panic and was able to instantly stop the car before it reached the most dangerous zone. The driver and his passengers got off with a slight fright, and the car suffered minor damage. Lightning strikes in the sky always look incredibly dangerous, yet stunning. Don't these underwater anemones look like living flowers that have walked straight off the masterpieces of Van Gogh? This mountain, located in Wyoming, USA, is called Devil's Tower, and it is an incredibly ancient volcanic deposit. The geological age of the mountain is estimated at 200 million years, and dinosaurs, living around the same time, would have witnessed its formation. Today, the mountain is recognized as a national treasure of America and is visited by numerous tourists each year. How charmingly this baby red panda devours grapes. Sometimes, little wonders can be found in very unexpected places. It is not always possible to forever admire the beautiful views of such calm lakes, because sometimes, in extremely rare cases, they can disappear overnight, as happened with this lake. Due to volcanic activity right under the water, a small fissure formed into which the source drained. These fissures represent a very branched underground system within which lava boils. They arise only under special circumstances, and most lakes have nothing to worry about. Nonetheless, this is a rather rare phenomenon with very few recorded encounters.
Which is quickly disappearing. Wow. You'll find the hole that it drains into. Ta-ta for now. From Lost Lake, Oregon.
Although at first glance it looks quite funny, this phenomenon is none other than quicksand. Of course, movies depict it quite differently, but in reality, it looks just like this. Quicksand forms in places where standing water, sand, and clay accumulate. The springy surface created underfoot can initially support a person's weight, but not for long, and will eventually begin to slowly pull down. Escaping from such a trap requires colossal effort, so it's better to be cautious with quicksand. These tourists were very lucky to be near the place where whales were hunting fish. As a result, all passengers on the ship witnessed a spectacle that people rarely get to see up close. A massive chunk of ice breaking off an iceberg crashed into the water with a bang. Do people admiring this phenomenon realize that it is a very alarming phenomenon? The fall of a comet takes just a few seconds, but that makes each one particularly valuable. Learning about an impending landslide, drivers decided not to take risks and waited out the threat in a safe place. And they did the right thing. Just look at how a boulder rolling down the mountain effortlessly knocked over a metal sign on its way before plunging into the water, creating a real fountain of splashes. Observing such waves, one might mistakenly take them for an approaching tsunami, but in this case, it is the result of a storm raging in the open ocean. Tsunami waves are caused by earthquakes, and when they reach the coast, they can easily wash away entire cities. However, as can be seen, even waves from a distant storm pose a danger to locals, and the city authorities should consider increasing the size of the dam that blocks their path to ensure the safety of residents. This fearless driver decided to play tag with the wind, or more precisely with a tornado. Needless to say, who will be the victor in this contest?
Alright, back the other way.
Man, those are active vortices.
Oh no.
Driving by in his car, the driver noticed the clouds beginning to form a funnel. If it touches the ground, one can confidently expect the arrival of an unstoppable tornado. The lens of this camera captured a very unusual atmospheric phenomenon, but exactly what it is remains a real mystery. An unexpected flood hit a small town in Sweden, causing a real mud fountain next to a residential building. The footage was captured by the owner of the building featured in the shots, and apparently the woman was horrified in advance by how long it would take to clean her property. Luckily, there was no casualties. If the operator had not seen the whirlwind raging in the backyard with his own eyes and captured it on camera, he would have been searching for a long time for the hooligan who messed with his belongings. But now he has a truly unusual video that he's happy to share with internet users. The thunderclouds decided to put on a mesmerizing light show, illuminating the entire sky with impressive scale discharges. A lightning strike that hit a tree caused instant destruction inside the trunk, leaving it slowly smoldering. Witnesses to this phenomenon should hurry to call the firefighters to avoid unnecessary troubles. If you think that some avant-garde artist has vandalized this tree, you would be completely wrong. This is a rainbow eucalyptus which grows in the tropical forests of Southeast Asia and Northern Australia. Due to its characteristic of shedding the outer layer of bark, the inner part of the tree is covered in various colors, visually indicating the amount of precipitation in different years. This tree prefers an overly moist climate, but thanks to its abundant roots, it helps prevent soil erosion and greatly reduces the risk of landslides. Thus, the rainbow eucalyptus not only looks extremely attractive, but is also incredibly beneficial to the tropical forest. Residents and tourists on the island of Cyprus nearly became victims of a disaster when a watersprout emerged from the ocean and stretched up to the sky. Fortunately, everything turned out fine, and people got off with just a light scare. Although such clouds in the sky involuntarily raise some concerns, it's hard to deny their furious beauty and the splendid combination of endless plains and troubled skies. An underwater current drove this school of fish right to the shore where many people were relaxing. Within seconds, people grabbed buckets and nets and caught the fish with their bare hands, gratefully accepting the generous gift of the ocean. Be very careful when stepping on holes like these on the beach. Who knows, maybe an octopus is waiting for you at the bottom. The volcano in Guatemala frequently emits huge clouds of ash and smoke from its depths, while content tourists snap photos of the phenomenon. However, these people should pay more attention to their safety, as standing so close to the crater is quite dangerous. Did you know that rocks can grow from the ground like seeds of plants? In one Chinese province, after a recent flood, many strange mounds suddenly appeared in the middle of a paved road. Out of curiosity, when people decided to find out what was hidden inside them, they were quite surprised to discover stones of various sizes. It turned out that the road was built on a collection of groundwater, the volume of which had sharply increased due to the recent flood. The asphalt softened, and the water raised the stones hidden under the earth to the surface and caused them to germinate. And that's all from me. If you liked this video, don't forget to rate it, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell. Your activity is the best reward for me. Thank you for your attention. See you soon.